And now, Best Supporting Character.
All right.
Our nominees, which we can add to, Elias from Ancient Magus Bride.
Fuck.
Sophie from Garo Vanishing Line. Ando from Inuyashiki. Sakurai from Recovery of an MMO Junkie. Koiwai from Recovery of an MMO Junkie. And Monkey from Juuni Taisen.
You put Monkey on there. That's nice.
She was the best part of that show.
She was, and her death sucked.
Yeah, she was easily the best part of that show.
Oh, I hate her death so much.
Is there any other supporting character that we want to give their moment in the sun?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna put down Sports Boy from just because that character
He doesn't
was
even know his
entertaining.
name.
I don't because
Just giving you shit.
but he was also fun. He was also sweet. He was kind of dumb, but he wasn't completely like I don't know. I liked Sports Boy, and I'm giving him my I'm just tossing him in there as like you were a good kid.
Here's your gold star.
Dude. If anything, he was the only character in the entire show who could make Sulk Boy even slightly palatable.
Yeah.
So, and that all on its own is like, goddamn, way to go, dude. But otherwise, I mean, Koiwai, let's just agree with me and we'll move on.
Here's the thing.
This is a tough category.
This is.
And I might wind up agreeing with you.
I might
but
too.
not before we talk through it.
Fine, let's go through the
'cause
fucking
here's
motion.
the problem. Elias is on that fucking list, dude. He's awesome.
So
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
So as often happens with this sort of thing, if you know the way the Giant Bomb Boys do it, we're definitely cribbing from their playbook here. So we're cutting Sports Boy from the list.
Bye,
Okay.
Sports Boy.
Bye, Sports Boy.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's parse it down.
Yep. Monkey, I think we can safely cut from the list. She's
Cool. It was a good do, but
yeah. Like I wanted to acknowledge her, but I don't think she's winding up in the top 2, which is
No.
what we have to cut this down to.
Where's Vest Friend? Where is Nobuaki's Vest Friend?
Where he belongs off this list.
yeah.
Bye, Torso Boy.
So what do we have left? We have Koiwai.
We have Koiwai, Sakurai, Ando,
Oh.
Sophie, and Elias.
Okay. I'll go ahead and jump to say, as much as I liked her, I'd axe Sophie from the list.
Yeah, Sophie was a character that could have been terribly annoying and ended up being very palatable, kind of cute,
Yep.
funny. She also was not a character that I necessarily cared all that much about.
I think she's one that stood out by comparison.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to put it. Is out of the whole cast, she was the one I was the most endeared to. Out of everyone in that show, I care more about Sophie than every other fucking person.
Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
think-
against all these other people, no.
Yeah, she doesn't hang with this group, but
No.
she is a good character.
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah, especially with her relationship with Battle Nun, like surprisingly.
Yeah,
that
was good.
Her grief for Battle Nun, that was all real relatable.
The whole
I really liked
episode,
that.
the deer episode, man,
Yeah.
that was all her.
Yeah, 100%.
That was great.
And I will then go on to say, so yeah, cutting Sophie from the list. Props to Sophie, but
Yeah.
she's not quite top tier this season. Very much top tier in her show. Ando, I don't think hangs in this list.
Ando was a good guy. Ando, good props for being the guy with the computer back home.
Yeah, I loved what he did in the Shinjuku and Tokyo episodes. I really did, but I do not think he holds a candle to the other characters.
He was a very reliable sidekick, but
Yes. Yeah, he was good. I loved the moment. Really, the moment that I enjoyed Ando the most was him and Hiro at the very last episode.
That was great.
That was so good.
the fact that Ando is just like, no.
Yeah, where
no,
he was the one to
fuck you,
stand up
man.
and say, I can't do that. And it's like, I just called him.
Ando continued, from beginning to end, was the character that show desperately needed to be there because, God, if we didn't have him, it would have really just been, well, of course Inuyashiki's a great guy. He's immortal. No, Ando's there. He's in the shit, and he's a regular old-ass human dude being like, no, Mr. fucking hero, dude. Get the fuck out of here. You're awful. You're bad. You're a bad guy who murders people.
Yeah, the tension of that scene, like that, oh man, that really got to me. I was like, I do not like this.
Yeah, no. It could have easily been a scenario where Hero could have just turned around and said,
Yeah, just
well,
like, okay.
if you're rejecting me, then we're no longer friends, and you have to die.
If you're not with me, you're my enemy.
Yeah.
Inuyashiki gives a speech to his son, which I think was slightly more fleshed out in the manga, about when his son's like, oh, I wish I were a robot and then everyone would love me and I could save people. Where he says, I didn't fully appreciate my life before I became a machine. And I don't think that you need superpowers to, he doesn't say it in so many words, but basically to be a hero. I think Ando, like, he is that.
Yep.
He is the person with no power, with no leverage, with nothing. He is potentially the most vulnerable person who still takes it upon himself to know, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to take the initiative. I'm going to try to find some way of making this better.
And it's not through any, like, it is just careful use of tools around him.
Yep.
And it is all this, the heroism is not in what he does, but it is what he aspires to do. And he just figures out ways to make that happen. It's so good.
Shit, now I'm not even sure anymore about cutting Ando.
No, I think he's great, but we haven't even got to the other guys.
Yeah, and the reason I think we can be safe cutting Ando is that while those were all really cool traits, at the end of the day, he does not stand out much. Like, he was important for those scenarios. He was a good guy, but I mean,
fuck Ben. Now I'm thinking it again.
All right, well, tell you what. Let's put
shit.
Ando
was pretty good.
Let's put Ando back to the side and move on to the next.
Okay, all right. Who's the next person?
Okay, so the list right now is Elias, Sakurai, Koiwai, and Ando. Let's put a provisional next to Ando.
Yeah.
He's not fully cut, but he's not locked in. Let's talk about, because I think Elias either wins or is runner-up. I think Elias makes
absolutely.
the top two.
I don't know. I might push for Elias to be the winner, but.
Yeah, but minimum, I think he is top two.
I think he's on there. So now I agree with that.
Yeah,
that
so
Elias is somewhere. So Koiwai, Sakurai.
Let's talk about Sakurai and Koiwai.
Oh God. Okay.
I don't think there needs to be any one per show rule.
No.
That said, if Elias has to be on there, then only one of these two can make it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like at maximum.
All right. Let's take the positives of Sakurai. He's very cute. He is fucking cute as balls. Goddamn,
hey,
boy,
man,
this cute.
It's my husbando.
Yeah.
Damn cutie.
He's got money.
Yeah.
And
he does have money. That's true.
He does have money. And 3.
Well, see, those are both husbando traits. Those aren't necessarily best supporting character traits.
There's a difference?
Well, here's the thing. For almost the same reasons I wanted to lovingly tussle with the man. He is the essence of supporting character.
Yes.
Kind of, yeah.
He is
actually.
support.
I mean,
For the moments where Morioka is out with him, and I think it's episode 9. No, episode 8. Whenever they're like going about the town and they like stop by the gas station, she gets mistaken,
Right.
and he's like, "Oh, come on, no, it'll be okay." I think it's episode 9. And takes the initiative, tells her on the bench, I'm Lily. He does all of this stuff knowing that she is anxious. He does this knowing that because he's fucking scared too. And he's like, I gotta do this. I gotta be the one to be the support here. I love that about him. He will take on other people's, but not even like burdens, because he doesn't view it that way.
I just thought of something, and this was bothering me ever since the beginning, and I should have. I wish I'd realized why. Do we have a villain list?
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we do.
Yeah, we have a best antagonist.
We should have had love interest, because both him and Elias are deeply under love interest, and that's not side character to me.
I don't think that's a separate category.
You don't think that's a separate category?
I don't.
I don't know. I think
Like-
supporting character still works here.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I see where you're coming from, but I think for maybe like a later list we can do that. But I think for right now this is good.
I think we could have a love interest category. I don't think it's like main character, supporting character, where you are one or the other.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let me put it this way. In Magus Bride, my favorite supporting character wouldn't be Elias, but my favorite love interest would probably be Elias.
Well, who because they should be added to the list. Who would the best supporting character?
Ruth.
Damn.
Like Ruth is one of my favorite supporting characters this whole season.
Oh, you know what? Put Nevin on the list.
Nevin.
Because I think the most just thinking about it now, I think the most emotionally resonant moments with that show were from him. Always made me cry when he showed up.
Yeah.
Like I didn't mention this, but my other top moment was episode 3 of Ancient Magus Bride. I've watched that like 3 times now. It's so good.
So we don't have to change it now this time, but I do think that there is a precedent because we have Ruth and we have Koiwai, and neither of those are love interests. They're supporting characters. But we have Elias and...
But love interests can also be supporting characters.
I think all love interests are supporting characters.
Yes.
Not all supporting characters are love interests.
Yeah. But my point.
Yeah, so I think we could certainly have a best love interest category. I think there would be a lot of overlap between that
Yes, yeah, there
and
would
best
be.
supporting character.
Yes.
Which is ultimately, I think, like,
And-
this will be fun.
Yeah.
And Ruth and Nevin, both great supporting characters.
Yes.
I would place Elias over both of them in that category.
See, if I knew that there was a love interest category, I would definitely go with Ruth. If only because
See, I disagree. This is not.
Is it because you want to like give props to like Elias?
Yeah, this isn't give everybody their participation medal. This is
This
best
is the best,
supporting
man.
character.
Calm down. No, I agree.
Yeah, like the participation medal is it's an honor just to be nominated, and Ruth and Nevin absolutely should get that honor.
Yeah.
Like,
Alright.
I am glad you brought them up. I am glad we are talking about them because they are awesome supporting characters.
For only 2 episodes, Nevin carved his dragon-sized body into my heart. Like, hot damn.
And out of nowhere, Ruth just comes in like, we have a new character to the main ensemble, and I love him. My God.
Yeah, introduced halfway through, and it feels like he's been there from the start.
Yeah.
Like looking back at the beginning, like, oh fuck, Ruth isn't there. Weird.
Yeah. And he's adorable, and he's awesome, and he's her familiar, and I just love that.
His whole story arc, oh man,
I cried. I cried when he became her familiar. I was like, oh my God.
it's a beautiful scene, man.
It is so beautiful.
I would put it this way. Remember what we said when we were talking about Ando earlier about how we needed this character in this show? Mm-hmm. I think Ruth is an awesome character. I think that the show would be poorer without him.
Yes.
I think you could still have the show without him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. Yes.
Of course, you couldn't have the show without Elias. Because he's kind of like the staple of everything, which actually kind of puts me in that weird place of like, Chise is definitely the main character, but he also shares a big part of that. They're kind of, I wouldn't say they're both the main character. They're see, that's kind of like a supporting lead, right?
Well, that's the thing. You can only have one main character in a show.
Yeah, there's a main character, then there's another one. Like
Yeah.
Katniss and Peeta in the Hunger Games, but Katniss is the main character.
Oh, Katniss, yeah. The Peter's barely even.
Not in the books. In the books, he's a huge part in the books.
Yeah. See, man, it's tough.
It's tough.
I mean, if we're gonna go with best supporting character, for me, it's like Sakurai. Sakurai has a lot going for him, but I just remember every episode where Koiwai showed up, and we were all just like,
I know, he's kind of the man.
Yeah, he's kind of the man. But that's the weird thing is that while Koiwai, every time he's on screen and has something to do with the other characters, he's always this great source of comedy, but also even emotional resonance. There are times where he, like again, that conversation he has with Morioka, where he's like, "Hey, don't apologize. Like, we all get this way. We all have these moments where we're just frustrated and overtaken. So let it out." And it's like, I don't know. For me, Koiwai is way up there. But if we're gonna talk about Elias, I mean,
yeah. Well, we can get to that when we get to that.
Yeah.
But I feel like the sense I'm getting of the room is that we're with all props to his central part in this story for what an awesome character he is. I don't think Sakurai makes the top 2.
I don't either.
Yeah,
It sucks, but I don't see it happening. He's great. He's cool.
Oh yeah.
But
And as far as a love interest goes, if there were a love interest category, I'd put him at the top because I love him as a love interest. He's great.
He's really good.
But as a supporting character, somebody who is there to help the scenes along and be somebody for the characters to bounce off of, damn, you cannot beat Koiwai.
Koiwai is real good. So are we for? So
now it's Koiwai versus Elias, and whoo boy.
well, so we're cutting Ruth and Nevin, yes?
Yeah, Ruth and Nevin. I just want to mention them.
I wanted them mentioned because I love Ruth.
Yep.
But
So right now on the list we've got Elias, Koiwai, and Ando with a question mark.
You know what? Let's talk about it because I'm just thinking about it more, and man, Ando pulled a lot of weight.
Ando did pull a lot of weight.
I liked him as a supporting character for Inuyashiki's development. He was pivotal for him getting self-confidence.
It's true. And there's a part of me that acknowledges all that Ando has done, and I'm glad he was there. On the other hand, he was also one of the less interesting characters to me.
Yeah, he didn't, because he's not like intrinsically interesting.
No.
It's how he interacts with everything around him that makes him dynamic, because he is the only human surrounded by the 2 demigods that could, and it's like, holy shit, what are you gonna do, man?
And in that, he's got a very important role.
Yes.
But you get past that, and he personally is just not that interesting of a guy. Not to me. Like I'm sure anyone's going to pull different things from these characters. But while I appreciate again what he did, and I am so happy he was there.
Yeah.
I didn't like in that last scene with Hiro. I thought it was more fascinating. Like, oh shit, Hiro came back. How's this going to play out? Unless, oh shit, is Hiro going to be or is Ando going to be okay? I love Ando. Please don't hurt Ando.
Yeah, and I get what you mean by that. Like I don't think Ando's character as it is the most interesting thing. It's really just the situations and how he deals with them that I find the most compelling.
Yeah.
It's not the person that is Ando that I think really evokes anything. It's really anybody who would be in that scenario that did those things.
Yeah.
Just kind of playing the Oracle role.
Which again, it sounds almost like we're like paring him down to a character type, which I don't know. Maybe that is what it is for me. Maybe I just kind of feel like he's a character type in that scenario who's just human enough to consistently feel like, yeah, I believe that this is a person who's really doing these things. But beyond that,
I mean, he is an exemplary example of that character type.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
fantastic at fulfilling that function. But yeah, like as a character in and of it himself, yeah, I can kind of agree with that.
Like, yeah, like I do feel that too.
Like I've seen characters like Ando, maybe not done as well as Ando, but like Ando.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not another character in fiction I could point to like Koiwai or like Elias.
yeah.
Yeah, like, ugh.
I feel like I could point to some Koiwais. I feel like I could find one or two of those. Like, but Koiwai just does it so well.
Like, Koiwai was great. Okay. I'll talk about him for a sec.
Yeah, let's talk about
Because
Sure.
I don't think I was as enamored with him as you two. I think he was great. I loved when he was on screen. I thought he's the apex dude. He really is. He's awesome. But I couldn't tell you what he would do in like certain scenarios. Like, he doesn't stand on his own for a lot.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Like, it just seems like I couldn't give you the portrait of Koiwai's life, where I feel like I could with Ando,
Yes.
but I couldn't with him. And I feel like Koiwai felt more like a prop sometimes. He was there to be the spark to get things going. He was there to be the moment of levity. He is there for plot to get these two together at its worst, if you want me to just look at him like that. I don't think he's that, but I can see it being perceived that way.
I can agree with you that I could not tell you what Koiwai's day is probably like. I couldn't tell you what his favorite things or least favorite things necessarily are. He is a character who is very much a character, and less
yes,
of a person.
yeah, he's like dialed to 11.
Yeah.
He's just kind of goofball dude, which I liked. I liked what he was.
That said, I think the counterpoint to that is I kind of could, like, I agree. I couldn't imagine him apart from these two characters.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, I think I could tell you what he likes, which is getting up in people's business.
Yeah, he does.
That is the kind of guy he is. And some people are just social animals like that. Like, there's a reason why the three of us identify so strongly with the Moriokas and the Sakurais.
Yes.
And the Chiseis.
Yeah.
The introverts, the self, people who are oriented towards themselves and their internal world and their internal struggles.
Yeah.
I think Koiwai is the opposite of that. He is the extrovert. He orients himself outwards towards others.
Total busybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, that might just be a shortcoming of me because I do identify a lot with the introverted type. So I'm like, what the fuck does he do? It just seems like he just shows up and talks. What do you fucking do, man? So it's hard for me to like relate to that.
And that's not necessarily a reason to keep him on the final two because
I know what you're saying.
Ultimately, this is our list.
That's true.
It should be reflective of us, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But you totally apt. There are people like him, and he would probably be out partying, hanging out with people. Probably doesn't spend much time alone.
Probably not. Although he does seem like a guy who's fine being alone.
Yeah.
Like he does seem like a guy who's like, because remember, he's at work late at night, calls Morioka. And that is the most human scene with Koiwai in the entire show. And it's important that was there. Otherwise, he really is just kind of a clown. And I mean that in a nice way, not in like you can't take him seriously, but he's more of a character without it. It's interesting because you compare him to someone like Ando, who does these significant big things, but his personality is really muted. Meanwhile, you have a guy whose entire point is just to get his friend laid. And I loved every scene he's in. Hey, there comes Koiwai. He's happy and he's fun. He's got funny things to say and he's got a great relationship with Sakurai. But in that, from an entertaining point of view, from a point of view that I loved that character on screen, man, it is hard to beat Koiwai.
Yeah, like I totally agree with you guys that every time he was on the screen, for the purposes of entertainment, he is entertaining as hell.
And oh god, he's so good at keeping the plot moving. Thank God.
That's kind of what I mean is that I think at worst you could pare him down to he's just a vehicle to keep shit moving.
And he gave Sakurai the chance to make the best line in the damn show.
I know, right? Yeah.
Which is, actually, she's so cute. I'm glad you're not here to see it.
And I think that is the thing about Koiwai is that he is generous.
Yeah.
In a way that he shows with his actions. Like something that I think about a lot being ultimately performers, I guess, is trying to be a generous performer with the people that I am here on this stage performing with. You know, trying not to hog the mic, and it's something that you do a lot when I make my silly puns that I love to make. What am I supposed to say to that? What are you? And
No, I totally get you, and that I think on that, in that vein, yeah, Koiwai's fucking great.
Yeah, he would be a great person to be on stage with because he would let you have all the best lines.
Yeah, and he's fantastic.
He's the best wingman. He's the best.
Yes,
he's
he is
the
the best.
And you deserve the best.
Fuck! Why do we? Okay. Can we talk about Elias?
Let's talk about Elias for a second.
Okay, let's get these feelings out. Okay. He is so compelling, like him and Hiro, but I think more so him as this look into like he's so well conveyed as a sociopath, and it is not in a way that is like, it kind of a bit condemns the shit that he does ever so slightly, that he's weird, that he doesn't know how to emote with people, that he should fix that, kind of thing. Yeah. But there's still something in him, as he is right now, there's still something about his character that feels so mysterious, and not just for the reasons that he doesn't talk about it, or that we're learning a bit more about his past, but that he doesn't know this too. Like there's stuff about him that he doesn't know. And it's that element of him that I find the most interesting to me. I think Chisei is a bit faster at figuring out what she needs to get, and it's probably going to be the spark that gets Elias to figure out his shit. But right now, as it stands, whenever he's on the screen, I'm just so entranced, not just by his design, by the way he carries himself, his voice, like everything about him is so magnetic. You can't look away from him when he's on the screen. It's just like, oh my God, look at him. He's like 7 feet tall and he's got the crazy, like, what are we going to do?
And yet he's a child.
And he's still a kid.
Yeah, that's the part about him that is the most fascinating thing to me, is because we use the term sociopathic, and as the way it's presented, that is an accurate representation of the character altogether, but really it's not necessarily sociopathy. It's the fact that he's immature. And the maturation of this character has been slow and difficult because of what he is, where he's from, who he surrounds himself with. So bringing an actual regular ass human into his home and making and having them be a part of his surrounding is this goal. Like, it's trying to help him grow up and learn and understand more about something that is completely alien to him. Which, again, the whole thing of him buying a person is still really awkward and has a lot of moral ambiguity there. But once you learn more about this character, you absolutely have to be able to separate it from reality, because this is unnatural circumstances. They're all like it's all mystic and magical and fantasy. So when he buys another person, you have to be like, okay, there's a whole other thing going on here that you have to understand and make accountants for, especially because, thank God, it wasn't for nefarious purposes. He's just trying to make his life better and buy a product, make this person's life better too. Because his goal is ultimately, I want to make you a better person and understand myself in the process. So
we've talked a lot when talking about Hero, which we will talk a lot more about in the next category, I'm sure, about how his morality is transactional. I think that for Elias, him buying Chisei and seeking out somebody like Chisei who has absolutely nothing else, I think that's kind of like the hopefully positive flip side of that coin, where it is transactional. It's I need a person like you in my life. Let me find somebody who I can give something back to in exchange for that. And maybe that is a little bit cold and calculating, but I think it comes from a place of good intentions.
Yes, I think when I say he's mysterious, I think he is trying to figure out the best way to express those intentions. Like, at his core, I think he is feeling these genuine, like, it is coming from a place where he wants to see her get better, but I think there is obviously that bit that he knows this will make him feel better too. And I think that's the most interesting part to me. I don't want him to be this flawless thing. That I hate those characters. And seeing a bit of his backstory really drove it to me. Just when you see him as like the kid, and I was just like, oh my God, oh no, yeah, you're just like you're a wee tot.
I love that scene because it is wholly representative of who that is. Him. That is actually
he's
him.
Still him.
Like, forget that whole big monster that we see. No, you want to see what Elias is. That little imp. Is really Elias when you if you want to really visualize him.
He might have centuries of knowledge about magic and shit, but when it comes to dealing with people and himself, he's still that little baby.
Yeah.
Yep. But unlike Hero, who at the end of the day, his helping people is just a way to not take responsibility for the terrible things he's done. I feel like Elias does have this drive to grow and improve.
Yeah.
That it might take place very slowly. He might have a lot of trouble with things that come naturally to the rest of us, but he sees these things that he doesn't understand. Like, wait, why would it be bad to kill these people? I don't get it. But he wants to get it. And I think that's what's redeeming about that character. Guys, I think our top two here, I think it's got to be Elias with Koi Y as the runner-up.
If Yeah. Again,
With all respect to Ando and what a wonderful character he is.
No, I'm not going to fight too much about it because I do ultimately think he was just the Oracle kind of character, just in the hands of a guy who knows how to fucking write humans. And
yeah.
he was good. He did everything well. If we had 3 spots, I would easily put him there. But yeah, for the purposes of what we did, God, when Koiwai was on the screen, he's fucking great. But when Elias is on the screen, I just have to stop what I'm doing.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I think it's obvious.
I think he's number 1.
Elias is number 1.
Marking it down.
Way to go, Bone Daddy.
Bone Daddy.
Bone Daddy, boning down once again.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep. Koiwai,
I'm okay with this.
runner up.
So,
He was so good.
Are we going to talk about it now?
Our next category is Best Antagonist.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And
No, go ahead.
our presumptive nominees, and we can add them. We can add to this list as we see fit. Hiro from Inuyashiki. Rabbit from Juuni Taisen. Joseph Kartophilus from Ancient Magus Bride. Final Fantasy Summon from Infinity Force. Anxiety from Recovery of an MMO Junkie.
Ooh, okay.
Emmy from Infinity Force. And Kieran from Anime FMK.
What? Okay, can I vote for myself? I want to be number 1. Vote me as the best antagonist. There is no good story without conflict.
I'm actually
true.
kind of surprised you didn't put down. I mean, I know we hated the show, but Natsuko from King's Game is like a full-on antagonist.
Yeah, but she sucked.
Yeah, she. See, I'm here or there on that one because I felt like Natsuko was hilariously evil and over the top and was one of the most entertaining things about that stupid show.
You
Although
know
I
what?
hated her.
Yeah, I hated her too.
I-
And the way you describe the ending makes me want to go watch it. Because I can
Oh.
just tell that there's going to be some stupid animation with her eyes being huge.
Yes. Oh, you were 100%
Yeah,
correct.
I'm sure there's going to
Yeah.
be some bug-eyed shots of her going, yeah.
Let me tell you, this bitch is the craziest.
Yeah,
bitch.
she is the epitome of psycho bitch.
Well, so I've added her to the list. I'm going to go ahead and delete Emmy because let's get real, that was
Yeah.
a joke nominee.
No, a good one, though.
Yeah.
I think we can also cut Final Fantasy Summon.
Yeah.
Let's get real. All he had going for him was a cool character design, an awesome character
Yeah,
design.
very
An
cool
awesome
design.
character design and a great character motive, and then
I mean, on paper,
oh yeah,
but
Yeah.
in practice, not so much.
yeah.
Okay, I don't want to, jump. How are you going to top Hero?
Okay. Let's.
Can we just set him as number 1 and
Yeah,
argue number 2?
Yeah, I mean, I think I think
Like-
much like we did with the last category, we can kind of set him aside. We can,
Okay, cool. We can just talk about everyone else, but
Yeah.
acknowledge that Hero's probably number 1.
Yeah, probably like when we come back to him with whoever the presumptive runner-up is, we can have a conversation if
Sure.
we feel like it's warranted about whether he should be in that one spot.
Okay.
But yeah, there are definitely going to be categories here where we already know what the top spot is. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and cut Kieran from this list. I've had my goof,
Okay.
but Kieran, you're right. You can't have a good story without conflict.
Thank you. I live to serve.
I may hate some of the things you've done, but I'm glad somebody's here to do them.
Somebody's got to be the bad guy.
Thank you for challenging us, helping us grow.
That's right. I'm here to help you grow. That's what I'm here for.
So,
One that you talked about that I don't want to save it. Let's get right into it. Anxiety. Good pick.
I think we actually came up with that together when
I
we were
think
talking
so,
about
yeah.
the list.
Like, that's a very poignant observation because there really isn't a villain except for herself. And you could say that it's not her, it's her anxiety. And you could kind of disembody that as its own thing. It really kind of is everything that stops the progress of that show.
Mm-hmm.
A lot could happen if they weren't anxious.
And oftentimes that is my favorite kind of show where there is no villain. All of the obstacles are internal. I like that a lot.
I do too.
Yeah. It's something we can. That is the most identifiable thing.
Yeah. Most of us don't have arch enemies in real life.
Some of us have bosses we hate.
But yeah, as someone with GAD, I get you with anxiety. That's like, I don't know if that works with Antagonist though. That's my only thing. But you know what? For our own fucking awards, I'm cool with pushing it because I think that's really interesting because as you said, for those kinds of stories, there doesn't have to be a person. You have the person versus man, man versus wild, all that shit. The conflict being internal, but also in a way external, because she acknowledges that this is something she can overcome. It's not really her.
Yeah, it is not intrinsic to herself.
Yeah,
she can, with not without great effort, but she can let go of it and remain herself.
Mm-hmm. And I think because you see anxiety not necessarily defeated, but kind of when they're holding hands.
Yeah.
And they're both anxious. So you know that it's not something that's going to be leaving them anytime soon, but it is something that they are willing to try to overcome or work with together.
You see them make active progress.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Yeah. And it's not one of those things where you ever reach a magical end point. You never find that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow where it's like, I'm cured and this will never be a problem again.
Yeah.
It's like that Game of Thrones quote. Can a man still be brave when he's afraid? That's the only time a man can ever be brave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. That's
like if you look at what this list is right now after making those cuts, if I can also assume we're cutting Natsuko.
Probably. I mean,
I liked her being a psycho bitch, but I just I hated her, but it was a fun hate.
Yeah, no, it's because you knew that whenever she got involved, shit was gonna go so bad.
And you would just be like, why? Why are you listening to her, you dumb bitch?
Yeah, see, things would have been, she would have been a way better villain if she didn't always just get her way somehow.
I know that. Yeah, I agree.
If her machinations were actually intelligent and worked, but no, she just did stupid, evil things and somehow got her way because all of these
everyone else is
fucking
stupid.
morons.
Yeah. Like if she were actually manipulative, as opposed to the other characters just being badly written. Then sure.
She was fun. I liked her as an antagonist. I thought her shift was great. I actually really liked it.
Oh, yeah, no. That was a great surprise.
That was fun. I hated everyone else around her, though.
Yeah.
But her alone, she was fine. Probably not top 2. I don't think she's going to make the cut, but she was good.
She'd make a top 5 from this season.
I would say so.
But in that case, our list right now is Hero, Rabbit, Cartophilus, Anxiety.
Rabbit was so bland.
Yes, totally. Rabbit did some crazy shit, though. I'm not going to fight for Rabbit, but I'm going to just give him his due real quick.
Sure, go ahead.
Rabbit had some cool shit going on.
It sounded like it.
Yeah, during that second half, he pulled off some crazy, dumb bullshit. And I liked it. I thought it was like, oh, God, okay, so this is how absolutely terrifying the Necromantist can be. And so to that extent, he also visually, he was weird and eclectic and crazy, and I loved him.
He's that kind of design I hate. It's just it's really trying very hard to be creepy. I didn't like it.
I did dig on it, but only from a visual standpoint. Thematically, he was like, "What are you doing? Why are you here?"
Yeah.
But I actually like that visual, his whole thing was, I don't know. I like what Tite Kubo does with his character designs, even if they're completely crazy and off the wall. He's got this design aesthetic, and I felt like, man, again, when you said Tite Kubo, I was like,
that's totally what it is.
It is 100%, and for me, I liked that design. I like the crazy, dumb bullshit that he was able to pull off, but at the end of the day, he is a lackluster, he was the main antagonist in the end. He's still Juuni Taisen, so...
I guess that's ultimately the thing is I could see if there was maybe any other show with him, but in that medium, he was so boring, and I wanted him to fucking die so we could stop seeing people fighting crows for 3 episodes.
Oh God, yeah.
Fucking awful.
Then he killed fucking Monkey. God
Dumb.
damn it.
Bullshit.
Yeah, Monkey was a character that should like. I know that they all died in the same pattern as the Zodiac, but I felt like him locking into that should have made Monkey a less interesting, important character, because the moment she died, we were left with a bunch of nihilists, and it's like, well, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so point being, we can just swipe him off the list.
All right, so if we're swiping him off the list, then that leaves us with Hero, Cartophilus, and Anxiety. And I gotta be honest, I put Anxiety down half as a goof.
I think it's pretty good.
I think it's pretty good.
I really do.
Here's the thing. Cartophilus works fine as an antagonist. He presents an obstacle for our heroes to overcome. He's not much of a character right now.
No,
he feels like he's coming back, and I'm real interested to learn what his deal actually is. But right now, he's kind of a dick for no reason.
Right now, he's a fucking Full Metal Alchemist villain.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, look, I love the villains from Full Metal Alchemist, but this show kind of looks like it kind of feels like it needs something a little more human. Then again, I love his split personality thing, and that's the most fascinating part about him. Like, fuck the things that he makes, fuck the chimeras. No, what's with the split personality shit? I want to know more about what that's about.
Yeah, we only got like 1.5 episodes with him. He was great when he was there.
Yeah.
He propelled Elias to go monster mode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great function as an antagonist to do that.
Creepy introduction in the City of Cats.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The
Like-
fact, like, him manipulating Tom into slaughtering these cats, then force-feeding his girl wife into drinking it, and then, oh, my God.
Oh, that didn't work.
Yeah,
No,
and then just
that's
realizing
so
he
good.
doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, oh, it didn't work. Bye. What a good fucking villain moment.
Absolutely. I couldn't believe, like, when that, like, I knew that it wasn't going to work. I didn't know it was going to be that fucking terrifying.
Yeah, just the way he doesn't give a shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm older than time itself. I don't give a fuck. Bye.
Well, we don't know how old he is. Although, yeah, he's
Well,
probably really old.
No, it's saying
Well-
he's old, right?
We know almost, well, if we assume that he is going by the Wandering Jew myth that he was just a normal
'Cause
dude
he
until
said he was like living forever or something. Long
yeah.
time.
Well, yeah, and
Oh, Christ, whatever.
yeah, if
Yeah.
we assume that he was just a normal dude until Jesus cursed him, then we know he is 2,000 and change years old, almost to the year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he's old as balls, but he's not,
Yeah.
there were things before year zero.
No, there weren't. That's when the simulation started.
God buried all those fake dinosaur bones to test us.
No, that was Satan
Oh, right.
to
Yeah,
test
yep.
us. Yep.
Well, look, everything that happens because God allowed it to.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, buck stops at God.
So at the
So
end of the
he's
day,
responsible for all this shit.
For the dinosaur bones.
And
yeah,
King's
and the
Game.
dinosaur bones and King's Game.
Problem of evil. How can God be both all good and all powerful when he allows King's Game to exist? There's your theology lesson for the week.
Oh my God.
Give me
Anyway,
that fucking axiological argument for that shit.
So let me like, I really like that guy. As far as a runner-up goes, yeah, I'm gonna have to put Joseph up there as my yep, he's my runner-up under Hero. And I don't even know. We can't even. What do we say about Hero anymore? Like,
What do you say? He's like the best villain.
He is an amazing villain.
He's so. The point of a villain is to make you hate him and make you feel uncomfortable. And goddamn, if I didn't have those in spades.
In one scene, he made me feel more uncomfortable and more uneasy and more disgusted at humanity than Joseph did in any of the scenes he was in.
Yeah.
And he got close, but he didn't nail it like that one scene with Hero did.
And Hero's theme, by the way,
Oh, yeah.
God,
Yeah.
the fucking like.
Yeah.
Love that shit. I was just like, every time that was playing, I was like, oh my God.
And Joseph did more horrific things on screen, but his personality just was like, okay, you're a bad guy. You totally don't give a shit about people. Like you're like again, a good villain is going to have an emotional okay, actually not necessarily, but villains by and large usually have an emotional separation between them and everyone else. with a select chosen few maybe. But like, if you want to talk about real sociopathic villainry, fucking Hiro is far more fascinating of the two of them.
Oh yeah, because he is still fully human. He is still a person, and that's it resists that simple. You can't just write him off as, well, he's
Exactly.
just evil. He's
Yeah.
pure evil, and he does evil things because evil. It's like, no, he has a reason for everything he does, even when that reason is, I'm bored and this is the only thing I can do.
Yeah.
Well, and Joseph, everything that Joseph does has a reason too. They're just a little bit more super villainy. Like, I'm looking for experiments, or I need that dog. Give me that dog so I can do my goddamn
and
experiments.
that's not nearly as human as I
Yeah.
feel nothing.
Yeah,
This is the only way I can feel.
Yeah, no, trust me. That's way more terrifying. And that's why, for me, yeah, there's just no way you can beat Hiro in that spot, because there was nothing more terrifying this season than a human being given god powers.
Yeah, there's nothing scarier than a kid that loves anime on the internet given God powers.
Yes.
No.
Accurate.
So I haven't talked much about anxiety as an actual, antagonist.
Yeah, sure. Anything to say on that?
There's nothing more human. And it's kind of cool because you have this concept here, right? Mm-hmm. And in MMO Junkie, it is used to such a great but measured, extent. They don't spend too, again, it got very close to okay, just stop fucking apologizing, and then reins it back and allows the character to develop from that. Because God help me, so many times in so many shows, that anxiety just becomes this thing that keeps the characters from making any sort of progress or scenes from moving on. And at some point, you just want to throw your goddamn TV.
Yeah, the worst villain is the one that's just stupid OP, and the heroes can never make any headway against until the end, at which point they do it all at once.
Yeah,
that's boring.
Yep, and that's the way anxiety is often as a tool to keep a character from making progress. It's no, that's not how it works. Unfortunately,
Sometimes it
in
is how it
reality, yeah, but from a storytelling standpoint, you can't continue to do that, otherwise it becomes...
It's a narrative crutch to a detriment.
Yeah. So, to that regard, if we want to talk about it as an actual antagonistic force, I know you put it on there kind of half as a goof, but that other half is too real.
Yeah. Because it is so honest about the way that happens. You take 2 steps forward and 1 step back every time, because you can't defeat it all at once.
Nope.
I'm trying to. I was looking up. I couldn't find it. There's this quote from this philosopher about how you can talk about postulate the good and evil of the cosmos and all this chaos and shit, but nothing will ever relate to you more. You know that galaxies are being birthed and black holes are sucking all this shit. Nothing will resonate more with you than someone stubbing their toe, or you having a hangnail on your pinky,
or
and
someone
going, fuck.
Or getting a phone call.
Yeah, or getting a phone call from I don't know. It's a number you don't know. There is something that is just completely tangible and palpable about anxiety that I find really just narratively interesting when it's done well.
I just realized something.
What?
Anytime Lanny calls me. Anytime.
The villain.
and it's not Lanny's fault but he never calls me unless there's a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I'm
Yeah, anxiety of its own making there.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's. I mean, I see the goof, but I like goof answers.
I really like Hero with anxiety as the runner-up.
I do. I do too.
I can get behind that. Are we?
Yeah, I like
all right,
that.
marking it down.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, nice. I like it.
I would have gone with Joseph realistically, but God, it is kind of funny. Anxiety is number 2.
Yep.
You know what? I'm gonna give it to that to make a point. I'll admit. I mean, honestly, I think Joseph was a great villain with some great scenes, but as a point, anxiety is the runner-up. There means a lot. Kind of like Inuyashiki means a lot. So you know what?
Yeah, and
Well-
I think in that the bigger scale of the
Yep.
whole season. I think
Exactly.
is what-
And there is a reason why I titled this Best Antagonist, not Best Villain. Because
Yeah.
a villain is a character, an antagonist can be a force.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
good on you. Like, good on you.
That'll
But-
be fun. People just seeing the list without hearing this will be like, "What the fuck? Now I gotta listen. What the bullshit?"
What is bullshit?